Hey, you guys, it's Gloria Mayfield Banks. I am so excited about today's masterclass. Super bad all day long. Are you ready to be super bad all day long? Well, we learn here on this masterclass specifically how to be unapologetically powerful. Every Wednesday at noon, I'm working hard to bring you some of the best examples so that you can learn the process for yourself. And at the end, I always give you a piece of advice to go a step in the bad direction on your way to super bad all day long. I cannot wait. This weekend, I was a keynote speaker in Dallas and I talked about super bad all day long. And I'm telling you, talk about the viral momentum. Davina, I'm so excited. The viral momentum is on it. And so today I have someone who I am thrilled reached out to me because she knows this is when you know you're there. When you know you're super bad all day long, that is a step. And when I tell you what she wrote about herself, many of you know her. And the beautiful thing about this is that I'm exposing my audience to her. She's exposing me to her audience because that's the game we're playing. That's the game we're playing, which is empowering each other. One of the things that she said when we talked earlier, she said, the bottom line is empowering other people to become better. And I always call it, we're on this journey to better, on the journey to better. So let me tell you about this author, this entrepreneur, this game changer, this energetic bunny, this social media maven. I'm just here to tell you, I love the name hashtag, get this, hashtag sexy brilliant. Hashtag sexy brilliant. Before I bring her on, let me just tell you about her. She's a full-time single mother. She's a former dog walker, left investment banking to become a dog walker, really to follow her dreams. You know that. A recovering addict, including food. That was funny. Dating and studying. I love it. She's an immigrant from arranged marriage. And we're going to talk about a little bit about that journey. Has lived overseas, and you can always find her. I love this. You can always find her with a flower in her hair, because one of the things that we talk about, which cannot be under discussed, is the power of your brand and who you be to the world. Devina, I am so excited to have you on this call. And the other thing that she said was that we all have a story. And that's the same thing I tell you guys all the time. We all have a story. So you know what I said? I said, if you care, share. If you care, share. So we want you to share this right away. Hashtag replay if you watch it after, and we'll always look at your comments. Davina, please take a minute, introduce them to you, because I want you to tell them who you are and why you are super bad all day long.
Thank you so much, Gloria. I mean, I am so honored to be here. And, you know, as a woman, I watch everything that happens around me. And I'm a fat woman. So I'm a super bad, super fat woman who's also very loud and who's also very ambitious.
Yes.
So, I am so honored that we are doing this together. Like, I'm
Yes.
touched, right? So for me, sexy brilliant is my life purpose,
Yes.
right? Like I'm I've struggled through dating addiction, through food addiction, like severe bulimia. I have had an addiction to learning because I was looking for the validation from outside. The
Right.
family that I come from, it was always about become a doctor, become an engineer, otherwise, you know, you're worthless.
Mhm.
So for me, I had to prove that to my parents and say, I'm worth loving, I am worth something. And then also translated to, I'm fat. So my parents were like, unless you lose weight, nobody's going to marry you. You don't understand. Nobody wants fat women. So I grew up believing that I was unlovable because of my size. My learning disabilities, including dyslexia and ADD, made me different, and I struggled, and I failed high school. And then, coming from a family of overachievers, I was always looking to fit in. And then later on, I had an arrangement, a marriage that was very traditional. And then I failed again, and now I'm a divorced full-time single mother. So I'm like, I was sick of this. And then, of course, there was this journey where I exchanged one job for the other, one degree for
Right.
another one.
Right.
Um, and at some point, I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to please other people.
Yeah.
It's about who I authentically am meant to be. And
Wow.
that is sexy brilliant.
You know what? When you were talking, I was like, because we talk on the master class about at what time did you become unapologetically powerful? And from your story that you just laid out, it was, I did it here, and then I did it here, and then I did it again, and I did it again. And it is true, in order to climb that ladder of harmony, to climb that ladder of joy, to climb that ladder of fulfilling your purpose, it
Mm-hmm.
is again and again and again establishing that place where you're choosing to be unapologetically powerful. Tell me a little bit about that process for you. What is that process for you that you must have tapped into over and over and over again? Because those are some big processes that you went
Mm-hmm.
through that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women can identify with.
Yes. So, it was like, so I was making a lot of money at my banking career.
Yeah.
I was very powerful, very successful, but I was also suicidal. I would come back home and I would be crying. I would wake up in the middle of the night with cold sweats. I was 25 years old, or
Wow.
I was like, this is not normal. I don't need this. So I had to say, like, I had to be very mindful, and I was like, do I want to end up dying? Do I want to end up killing myself
Uh-huh.
versus do I want to make a switch? So the choice was myself, and I wanted to be alive. So I said, you know what? Okay, this is done. I am not going to. So I started looking for changes. The first thing I did is I changed one banking job for another. I
Uh-huh.
did I
Yeah.
did that a few
Yeah.
times because I thought it was my boss, I thought it was my
Right, right, right,
purpose,
right, right, right.
but it wasn't. And then at some point I was like, I've already done four different changes. Like, what is this? So I said, okay, I'm fat, I'm unhealthy internally, emotionally, physically. I want to get out of it. So interestingly enough, one time I'm sitting with one of my investment clients, or I can't remember, one of my banking clients,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, we're going away for 4 weeks, and we're looking for someone to house sit and babysit our dogs." I was like, "I love dogs, you know." I'm like, "I'll do it for free."
Yeah.
so,
Wow.
so that was, and at the end of 4 weeks, I babysat their family. They had three dogs, two cats. I babysat all of them with my. I had no pets with my daughter,
Uh-huh.
and of course there was so much love. At the end, they came back, they gave me a gift certificate of, I don't know, $300. So it was not, it was not about the money, it was
Yeah.
not about, it was just about something other, something, doing something different.
Yes.
And that was the first step. So I recognized, as as somebody, as a business person, I recognized that there was potential to make money. I
Mhm.
had a choice of saying no to banking and doing something different.
Right.
um, and this was, of course, before my life purpose found me, and I found my life purpose, which is sexy brilliant.
Yes, yes, yes. I love that you said that these things were happening before you found your life purpose. Because sometimes we're afraid to make changes before the life purpose shows up. And because we're not willing to make the change, we never find the journey.
Well, it's also very, very difficult to say, I want to give up money to walk dogs for a living.
Right,
Right away, the first people to resist this was my parents. They're like, "What are you doing? Are you
right,
crazy?"
right.
Yes, I am crazy.
That's the right description. I'm crazy and I'm out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that or kill myself. So, you can't discuss necessarily mental health with your parents. You cannot discuss so many things with the family. And parents do it because they love ourselves,
Right,
not because, but also this is their conditioning. So the
right.
the first thing to do is to let go of that pressure, the family pressure, which says stay in a box. It's easier. It's you're gonna be fine in the box. So, that was the first step, to resist the parents, to rebel against the parents, to be unapologetic bad ass.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so powerful because one of the things that you mentioned here is that courage. It took a lot of courage. We talk about that a lot on my masterclass because courage, developing your courage, will build
Mm-hmm.
your confidence, and your confidence will then expand your choices. And your choice was to walk away
Mm-hmm.
in order to find your purpose. You guys, one of the things I want to make sure that we do is that we find Sexy Brilliant and you attach to her mailing list. One of the things that makes it powerful is that you have choices. And I always tell people that I know, sign up. Like my email, I get emails because I sign up and then I choose to stay with that person or not. I choose to stay with what they're offered or not. And because you have so many things coming out to empower other people, I want to make sure that they sign up for your mailing list to be able to follow your books that are coming. Talk a little bit about your TV experience. I know they would love to hear about that.
So, and this also comes back. I was going to real estate school, so I was a little bit. I had been walking dogs for about 2 years, 3 years,
Wow.
and and I was, some days I made $10 a day. Some days I made maybe $100 a day, but it wasn't about the money. It was about, I knew that there's something bigger for me. I knew something was coming. I had no clarity. And I started going to real estate school. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go back to the corporate world, work in, and do that. And while I'm in real estate, and this was, I remember the first time I was in class, I was like, my job here today is to learn about real estate, to manage my investments better.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I am not going back to, like, at the back of my mind, I knew I did not want to go back to that corporate sales job or, real estate as such. But I knew that it would be good to have it. So while I'm there, I'm super busy, have a business, have a child, have, all the things that a lot of parents go through.
Right.
And I had a date. I'm a single mom. Pardon me, but I'm a horny single mom. Super bad all day.
In all areas.
And not getting any. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go on a date. Finally, I get a babysitter, I get makeup, I get hair done. Guess what happens? My date cancels last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm like, oh wow, that's like, I guess it's not meant to be. So I pick up myself and I'm like, I'm not gonna let somebody else's action affect my mood, my my the beautiful outfit that I have, the babysitting that I have, and
Right.
most importantly, the time that I've taken out for self-love.
Right.
So I made a video and I put it on social media and I'm like, I got stood up and I am taking myself out on a date. Right? So this video got picked up by Hollywood, and a casting agency saw me and they're like, we want you, we want you. What's happening? I'm like, who are these people?
Excellent.
I'm like, speak to my assistant. Because at social media there's a lot of spam, so I'm like,
Right.
like, no, and for me, TV was not something that I never thought it would be. TV, it was not something I was looking for. They found me, so I was like, okay, yay, Hollywood. It's a dating show with Patty Sanger, actually.
Okay.
Love her, by the way. And I ended up going. It's a lot of paperwork. Did that. So the Hollywood reality TV was like finding love, and so exciting, right? Like, I'm like, a new experience. This is the time I'm going to find somebody.
Yes.
So that was a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Reality TV is real.
It's real. You know what? One of the things that I loved about this rawness and your journey to Superbad All Day Long is that you took many twists and turns. And when you talk to different people who get to that place called I want to get there too, there's a place called I want to get there too. And when you get to that on your way there, you have a lot of twists and turns. And sometimes we lay in our bed thinking about, oh my gosh, I wish it was like this and I wish it was like that, versus I'm glad it's exactly like it is. I'm glad it's exactly like it is. And when you said, like, who are those people? And then you said, okay, let me fill out that paperwork. That's powerful. That's so
Yes, yes. And you know, that's interesting. As I was driving, we were talking on the phone. As we earlier today, this is about half an hour ago, I got pulled over by the cops. They're like, you know, come. And so I showed them my paperwork, and I got an delayed extra 5 minutes. I did get a ticket as well. So you know, and I was like looking at them, and I was laughing with them, and I was like, I gotta go. Gloria's waiting. Gloria's family's waiting, right? Community's waiting. So I'm sorry about the delay. It's blame the cops. So I'm thinking, I'm sitting in the car while they're writing up my ticket, and I'm like, this is something that I have to learn from.
yes,
Yes, I mean, of course, it's painful to pay a ticket of $300 or whatever it is, but I'm like, what did I do that I deserve this? So then I said, you know what? If it comes up, I'm gonna share this story with Gloria, and the reason is that everything that waiting for 5 minutes in the car today, after I found my life purpose, is different than if this happened to me 3 years ago.
right.
3 years ago, this very thing happened. I was crying. My heart was like beating. I was like anxious. I was angry. But now I was like, you're giving me a ticket? Ha 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 ha. You
Right,
know?
right.
So,
And what is the lesson I'm going to learn?
exactly. The lesson being that my reaction to the very same situation is different.
Yes,
It's
yeah,
because I know who I am, I know my purpose, and money no longer controls me.
right.
Right. And so that's the thing. So we often have to get clarity on this to say, is it money that's stopping me? Is it fear that's stopping me? And I'm in business too. So often, you know, I was talking to my therapist, and I'm like, I'm so anxious, and I have this money expense, right?
Wait, I love her transparency. Did you guys hear that? Did you hear the word therapist? Did you hear her transparency? Did you hear about her $300 ticket? And did you hear the lesson that she said? I learned the lesson of emotional management, that where I was is no longer where I am today. And
Yes.
the journey to get there, powerful.
and and lots of self work,
Yes,
lots of darkness.
yes,
You know, it's not easy. It's
yes,
not easy.
right.
um and you know, and Gloria, just to let you know further, I don't have one therapist, I have three therapists. I'm an
Okay.
overachiever.
Yes.
I have one in India, I have one in Mexico, I have one in Canada, because I need the support.
Mhm.
What I'm doing is a global revolution.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, it's, you know, it's so huge. I'm like, I need people to call, and 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 often this is very, very important. We need support,
Yes.
whether that's a therapist, whether that's a coach, whether that's a masterclass with Gloria, whether that's reading a sexy brilliant book by Devina Kaur. We all need support. Even people like me and Gloria, you can say that too.
Absolutely. I think that all the time we underestimate the value of support. We underestimate the force of the friendships. We underestimate the people that support us, that work for us. We underestimate the gift that we give to other people by allowing them to support us.
Yes, yes,
You know
yes.
what I mean? This is so big that when a woman gets that piece, she becomes a person who can quantum leap herself. What were you going to add?
I was gonna say money is an abundance, right?
Yes,
So my recent discovery is that I no longer say money, I say abundance, because we all have the same fears: money, family, you know, health. The fears are there, but
right.
by changing the language to say money controls me versus abundance is we have the right to universal abundance. So
Yes.
it's shift work. It's constant self-awareness, self-knowledge, and then to say, go out on social media with Gloria and do this and celebrate badass all day.
I mean, I just love how you talk about this, because I'm bringing my program in 2019 is about a millionaire's mind shift, a
Mhm.
millionaire's mind shift. And you can only do that through a shift, and you can cause the shift through your language. I just love that through your language, you can cause a shift. This is so powerful. Okay, now you got to tell them again where they can find you, because I want them to find Sexy Brilliant. I want them to become Sexy Brilliant. I want them to tell their girlfriends, their mother, their sisters, their aunt about Sexy Brilliant. I want them to say, I care, so I'm going to share. I care, so I'm going to share. And I want them to know how to find you. So tell them that, Davina.
So the best way to find me, of course, is www.sexybrilliant.com
Great.
and hashtag sexybrilliant for all the inspirational messages and videos.
Good.
And I also want to share a very, very important message is
Okay.
a lot of us women, especially women, struggle with body image.
Yes.
So, and you know, how Sexy Brilliant comes across is I would literally, this is when I'm like, you know, I just left a bad marriage and I was in the dating world, but not knowing what I'm doing. And I said, I would stand in front of the mirror and I would say, I am sexy. I am brilliant. I am
Mm-hmm.
sexy. I am brilliant. I did it naked. I did it with clothes. I did it with, you know, with a cell phone. I am sexy. I am brilliant. And this was for me, it was a mind shift because I never saw myself as sexy.
Uh-huh.
I never, you know, I was that fat girl who would never get married because
Mm-hmm.
I was so fat. So
Mm.
for me, it was a tune, like a message that I was giving to my brain to say,
Yes.
I am sexy and sexy is daring and I am brave and I'm courageous. So, and that I'm desirable too, right?
Yes.
Because that's also part of being sexy
Yes.
brilliant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that I don't need to lose weight for somebody to love me.
Right. Right.
and you know, and that was an interesting lesson for me too. This is back 5 years, but from there I was like looking for love everywhere.
Yeah.
But the love is ultimately is within us, and self love,
Yes. Okay. So
which self love which comes from self knowledge and radical self acceptance.
radical self-acceptance, radical. You know what? You just led right into my call to action for all Glow Nation who is going to be super bad all day long. Number one, they join me in my private Facebook group called the Power Huddle. This is specifically designed, Davina, for women who want to be stronger, smarter, and more successful. I mean, specifically. But today, what you've helped them do, and what I'm going to call everybody to do, is to find out what label you are going to remove and which one you're going to put in place to redesign yourself. I love that Sexy Brilliant. But what label are each one of you, in order to become super bad all day long, coming from this lesson that you're going to share with everybody, for you to go to sexybrilliant.com and go to glorymayfieldbanks.com and give us your email address so that we can connect with you, because you're saying, I'm raising my hand and I want to be stronger. I want to be smarter. I want to be more successful. And I am going to replace this label with my new label of who I am going to do through self-love. Davina, you were amazing. Thank you so very much for being on this masterclass of Superbad all day long, every Wednesday at noon right here.
Thank you so much, Gloria. This
You're
is
welcome.
wonderful. I am just so honored to be here. And thank you, everybody, for listening and sharing the love, the messages. I read all of them, and I know who you are. So one day I'm gonna be doing exactly what Gloria's doing.
She is, and I'm so proud. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye, you guys.